welcome to episode 111 of the Nigerian Football Weekly podcast. Me, host Okoye. As you can see today, we're in new settings, but it's been a very, very glorious week. And we're going to have what I would call a rapid fire episode. Of course, we'll be touching about the CAF African Footballer of the Year, which the CAF Awards just presented yesterday, where they gave out awards to both Ademola Lookman for being named CAF Men's Player of the Year, as well as Onyeka and Nnadozie and the Super Falcons. And I'll be going into the usual chat on how our players have performed in their usual club sides over the past week. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So, CAF Awards yesterday, as expected, to no surprise of anybody, Ademola Lookman won the CAF African Men's Player of the Year. Well deserved. It's the 7th time a Nigerian has won the award. 6th individual after Rashidi Yekini in 93, Emmanuel Amunike in 94, Kanu Nwankwo in 1996, Victor Okweba in 1997. Kanu Nwankwo then won it for a second time in 1999. And of course, we had to wait for 24 years until Victor Osimhen won it last year. And now we've seen Ademola Lookman win the CAF Men's Player of the Year. So congratulations to Ademola Lookman. I mean, what a story. I mean, he only started playing for Nigeria in March 2022. So literally the same month that Ashake's Okoye dropped. So literally, you can almost map Lookman's rise in the national team and Nigeria's national team and the setup in Africa to the way Ashake has become who Ashake is. This is only less than 3 years, and you know what? He must be commended. What a story. You know, I love this speech where he started in Yoruba and spoke about how 4 years ago he failed in front of the world, and now he's standing here as the CAF African Footballer of the Year. So shout out to you, Ademola Lookman. What a story. And this means Nigeria, we have Osimhen and Lookman, man. We have no more excuses, man. We need to be dumping teams on this continent. Nobody's our mate, man. So shout out to you, boy. And then Onyeka and Nnadozie, for the second straight year, was named the best goalkeeper on the African continent in the women's category. So shout out to her. You know, she's doing her thing in Paris FC and continues to be a stable and a giant in the national team of the Super Falcons. So shout out to her. Also, the Super Falcons were named as the best female national team in Africa. So shout out to the Super Falcons. I think despite them losing their manager, they've made they continue to blaze a trail for women's football on the African continent. So shout out to them and keep shining. Back to player reviews and starting with the Premier League as usual. And we saw the Fulham boys, Alex Iwobi and Bassey both played. I mean, no, Bassey was suspended for this game. But Alex Iwobi had a pretty good game, although there was some lapses here and there. But he was pretty solid as Liverpool went to Anfield and got a 2-2 draw. Yes, Andy Robertson got a red card quite early on in the game, which some people could say was harsh, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do in front of you. And I thought Anthony Robertson at left back was amazing, man. Like, he looks like he could play for a top 6 team easily. But anyway, shout out to the Fulham boys. That's back-to-back draws against Arsenal at home and Liverpool away, so they're doing their thing. Next up for them, they play Southampton at home on Sunday, so I'm sure they're gonna beat the shit out of Southampton, even though Southampton have just sacked their manager, Russell Martin. Speaking of Southampton, Aribo played 90 minutes as Southampton lost 5-0 at home to Tottenham. It was literally, I think it was 5-0 in the first half. They were really, really rubbish. And of course, he had to go. Onuachu was on the bench, but we'll see what Southampton can do. They're looking to hire the West Brom manager. I think his name is Carlos Colleran. But they're going to play Liverpool in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday tomorrow. So let's see how they perform in that game before they go to play Fulham away on Sunday in the 3 p.m. kickoff. As for Nottingham Forest and Ola Aina, they continue to shine, man. Ola Aina and Nottingham Forest are now in the top 4. Ola Aina played 90 minutes while Tella was on the bench as they beat Aston Villa 2-1. It looked like they were going to lose this game after Villa went 1-0 up via John Duran. But it's 7th minute, they got the equalizer, and lo and behold, 91st minute, Elanga put the ball in the net. So shout out to Nuno Espirito Santo, man. What a performance. And they just keep going from strength to strength. Next up for them, they play Brentford in the Prem away on Saturday. 4 p.m. kickoff in Nigeria, so look out for that game. As for Wilfred Ndidi, he has a thigh injury and he's expected at the end of this month. So he did not play as Leicester got absolutely walloped by Newcastle 4-0. Other results not involving Nigerian players. Arsenal, I'm not even going to talk about it, man. 0-0. Disgrace, disappointing. Arteta, go and sign me some attackers, man. Remember that football is about scoring goals, not having control and preventing the team from having 0.00 XG. Wolves, Ipswich Town, I mean, what a clown show. Wolves getting a red card at the end of the match. Matthias Cunha has been charged by the Premier League for violent conduct, and they lost 2-1 to Ipswich. Ipswich got a last-minute winner. Like, Ipswich are a very, very well-coached team, and they continue to show it in all the games that they play. Brighton lost to Crystal Palace at home. That was an interesting game. I told you it's a big derby, but Crystal Palace were really excellent in this game, especially Ismail Assar. Manchester United pulled off I don't even know where to start. The upset of the day. They went to the Man City. They went to the Etihad Stadium and beat Man City 2-1. I mean, Amad Diallo. What else could we say? You know, just wonderful performances all around from the boys. So shout out to Man United, and I'm sure that's going to galvanize Amorim and the rest of the squad. And finally, Chelsea beat Brentford 2-1. Nicholas Jackson continues to play very, very well. Cucurella scored a goal in this game and then got sent off after the final whistle. Stupid behavior. And then yesterday, Monday Night Football, we saw Bournemouth draw 1-1 against West Ham. So that's it in terms of the Prem fixtures that took place over the past week. Games to look out for this weekend. I mean, after Man City have lost 8 of their last 11 games, they now have to go to Villa Park in the early kickoff on Saturday. There's no guarantee they're going to win that game, but hey, I can't wait to watch that game. It's going to be fun to observe. West Ham will host Brighton at the London Stadium. Ipswich Town host Newcastle in a 4 p.m. kickoff. Brentford hosts Nottingham Forest. That should be a very tasty game because Brentford are very strong at home, but Nottingham Forest are playing very well this season. Crystal Palace hosts Arsenal in the late night kickoff on Saturday. I don't have any prediction. Let's see how that game goes because we can't just be relying on set piece FC to beat these teams. On Sunday, Chelsea go to Goodison Park. That's going to be a tasty game at 3 p.m. Nigeria time. And Man United host Bournemouth at Old Trafford. Also, Fulham will play Southampton at the same time, while Leicester would also host Wolves. When did the Prem start putting all these games at the same time on Sunday at 2 p.m. now? What the hell? Well, anyway, the game of the round, Tottenham will be hosting Liverpool at the Tottenham Stadium in the late kickoff on Sunday. So that should be a tasty game. As for the table, Liverpool are now still top, 36 points, although they have a game in hand. Chelsea, they've been the big improvers. They've won 5 straight Premier League games. They currently sit second with 34 points, which means they're 4 points ahead of Arsenal in third. And Nottingham Forest are 2 points further adrift of Arsenal with 28 points and are fourth. Man City are fifth, which is very, very strange to see. They've lost 5 of their first 16 games of the season. This is strange times we're living in, guys. I don't even know what to say. Bournemouth are sixth. I know you heard that correctly. Iraola, well done. Bournemouth and Aston Villa have identical records, 7 wins from 16. And it's just a roller coaster of a season. Tottenham are 10th with 23 points, even though they just won 5-0. Man United, even with their win, they're still 13th. So, I mean, just buckle up, guys. This Prem season is going to be one for the books. And, of course, Wolves and Southampton both sacked their managers. Rightfully so, to be honest, because, my God, they've been terrible. So, let's see how things shake out. In the Championship, Josh Maja played 45 minutes as West Brom beat Coventry 2-0 on Wednesday. He then played 65 minutes. They lost to Watford 2-1 on Sunday. Next up for him, he plays Bristol City at home on Sunday. As for Luton Town, Elijah Adebayo scored the winner for Luton in their 2-1 win over Stoke last week Tuesday. Moses also played 90 minutes in that game. And then over the weekend, they both played, but they lost 2-0 to Blackburn Rovers. Next up for them, they played Derby County at home on Friday. In Serie A, African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman. Well, he played 90 minutes and scored a cracking goal for Atalanta as they lost to Real Madrid last week Tuesday. He was the man of the match, which was deserved, to be fair. And I like that he continues to grow his reputation. I mean, if I was Arsenal, please go and sign this boy, man. Let him come and play for us, please. I'm begging you. And then on Saturday, he played 45 minutes in their 1-0 win over Cagliari. And of course, we know that he flew to Marrakesh to collect his well-deserved African Footballer of the Year award yesterday. Next up for Atalanta, they play Cassano at home in Coppa Italia on Wednesday. I'll be surprised if Lookman features. They don't really need him in this game, but he may get some minutes. And then in Serie A, mind you, they're top of the league, I must say. They play Empoli at home on Sunday, so they've got an opportunity to maintain their pace in Serie A. As for Lazio, oh my God, it was a shocking, it was a semi-decent week, but shocking at the same time. In the Europa League, they beat Ajax 3-1 on Thursday, so they continue to play well in the Europa League. But in the league yesterday, oh my God, they lost 6-0 to Inter Milan at home. I was watching the game on TV and I was like, Jesus Christ. This is the kind of loss that could literally derail your whole season. What you mean you're going for the title and the team that's level on points with you or 1 point ahead of you smashes you 6-0 in your own backyard? What told the Modu, man? That was bad, I'm telling you. So next up for them, they play Lecce away on Saturday. So at least in terms of a fixture, they expect them to win. Hopefully they can get back to winning ways. But it's away, so you never know. As for Chukwueze, he played 62 minutes for AC Milan in their 2-1 win over Real Belgrade on Wednesday in the Champions League. He also started on Sunday, but in true AC Milan style, they drew against Genoa. AC Milan are crap, man. I don't even know what to say. They even wore this unique old vintage kits to celebrate something about their history, and they couldn't even put a performance at home against Genoa. It's just shocking stuff. Next up for them on Friday, they play Verona away. So let's see if Chukwueze could continue to start and if they, can at least get back to winning ways. In the Bundesliga, Tella played 83 minutes in Leverkusen's 1-0 win over Inter in the Champions League on Tuesday. That was really, really good to see. Continues to start games, and it's really good to see Tella elevating his performance. Nigeria, call Tella up. Jesus Christ. Gusau, he will now go there and be carrying the award to be celebrated with the players. Call this boy up. He also played 87 minutes on Saturday as Leverkusen beat Orban 2-0 in the Bundesliga. Next up for him, he plays Freiburg on Saturday. As for Onyeka, he also played in that game against Leverkusen, but they lost 2-0. He was on the receiving end of the loss, but he continues to get minutes, so I'll take that for him. Next up for his team, they play Holstein Kiel away on Saturday. As for Kevin Akpoguma, he's become a bench player, man. It's so sad to see. He did play 26 minutes on Thursday in the Europa League as his team Hoffenheim drew 0-0 against Stal Bucharest, or now called FCSB. And then he played 11 minutes and then 1-1 draw against Borussia Dortmund on Sunday. So he came on to shore up the draw for Hoffenheim, and they remain 14th. Next up for them, they play Mönchengladbach at home on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. kick-off. In La Liga, Uche played 35 minutes. Getafe lost 1-0 to Atletico Madrid on Sunday. Man, what a goal by Antoine Griezmann, man. I mean, like, it just has to be said that Let's Go look like this might be the best evolved version of a Simeone team we've seen so far. So long may it continue. Next up for Christian Uche's team, though, Getafe, they play Mallorca at home on Saturday. So let's see if he can start this game. As for Sevilla in 11th place, Iheanacho played 45 minutes. I mean, I'm even surprised to play 45 minutes. And they won the game 1-0. Hallelujah. So we'll take the positives. Next up for Sevilla, though, they go to the Bernabeu on Sunday. So that's going to be a cracking game to watch. As for Umar, he was on the bench in the Champions League for Real Sociedad. It's the Europa League, not Champions League. It was last season on Champions League. They beat Dynamo Kiev 3-0 on Thursday, so really good to see. Of course, he was on the bench again against Las Palmas. We did predict, he got some minutes in both games though, but let's see how he performs against Celta Vigo away on Saturday. In Ligue 1, Ilenikhena played 9 minutes as Monaco lost 3-0 to Arsenal in the Champions League. I know we've been panicking about Arsenal, but yes, we did win Monaco 3-0 on Wednesday. He then played 67 minutes as Monaco drew 0-0 against Reims on Saturday. So they're losing pace of even having any semblance of competing against PSG. That one's done. Ironically, they do play PSG at home on Wednesday tomorrow. So that should be an interesting game, Monaco versus PSG. And then they will play in the French Cup on Sunday against a team called L'Union Saint-Jean. So that should be a walkover. As for Osayi-Samuel, he got an assist and started the game. He got his 5th assist of the season. But Nantes did lose 4-1 to Brest, so commiserations there, my boy. But I think Simon is so comfortable at Nantes that he's never going to leave. And he's already like 28 years old, if I'm not mistaken, or 29. So it seems like he prefers being a big fish in a small pond. But you never know, maybe he might move to a French team, because I think that's where his reputation is really well known. I mean, he did play in La Liga, yes, we know, for, what was that team in the... Oh, I can see their name, but I can see their jerseys. Was it Levante? But anyway, you get the point. Next up for Osayi-Samuel, they play in the French Cup on Saturday against Drancy away. Hamza Ojedinro came on in the 89th minute for Lens to just shore up their 2-2 draw against Auxerre on Saturday. Next up for them, though, they play PSG in the French Cup on Sunday. Now, speaking of Auxerre, Gabriel Ocho did play 90 minutes and scored the equalizer for Auxerre. So it's his first goal in Ligue 1. And shout out to you, Gabriel Ocho. That must have done wonders for his confidence. There will also be an action in the French Cup on Sunday. So look out for how they play against Dunkirk in that game. As for Montpellier, Akko Adams played 75 minutes in their 2-2 draw against Nice on Sunday. Next up, then they play Le Puy away on Saturday in the French Cup. And Victor Rabgo has a hernia injury, so he'll be out until February. So we wish him a speedy recovery. And that's it in terms of the top 5 leagues in Europe. So moving on to the non-top 5 leagues, and you know my new thing, Turkish League. Victor Osimhen played 15 minutes, came off the bench as Galatasaray beat Trabzonspor 4-3 yesterday. I think it was just a case of nursing him back to speed and giving him a rest. But it was good to see him and Anthony Narkeme having a chat after the game in this game. But Osimhen will surely start on Sunday when they play Kayserispor away. As for Anthony Narkeme, he did play 90 minutes in that game. No goals though, but you know, good to see him starting again. But next up for Trabzonspor, they play Bodrumspor at home on Sunday. Although their league position this season is quite shocking, it must be said. As for Osayi-Samuel, he played 90 minutes in the Europa League on Wednesday as Fenerbahce drew 2-2 against Atletico Bilbao. No, they lost 2-0 to Atletico Bilbao. And then he played 63 minutes as they beat Istanbul Basaksehir 3-1 on Sunday. So good to see him getting back into. I mean, he played 90 minutes in both games, which is no surprise there. Next up for them, though, they play SAU Sport away on Sunday, so look out for that game. As for David Okoye, he started the game for Gaziantep, but they got thrashed 3-0 by Alanya Sport. So let's see how he gets on in their game on Wednesday against Orduspor in the Turkish Cup, and then they play Antalya Sport at home on Sunday. In the Premier Liga, Bruno Yemachi actually scored a goal for Boavista, but he got a yellow card too. They did lose 3-2 to Sporting Lisbon, but there's no harm in scoring a goal against the big boys in your league. Do your world of confidence some good, but it's a shame that he lost the game. So sad about that part. Next up for his team, though, they play AVS Football SAD at home on Saturday, 7:30 p.m. kickoff in Nigeria. As for Zedu Sanusi, he did make the bench for Porto's Europa League game on Thursday, but he did not come on to play, and it was not in the squad on Monday as Porto beat Estrela de Amadora on Monday. So I think they're still not sitting back from his injury and just trying to make sure they give him the right moments before they start giving him minutes. So watch out for this space. In Belgium, Tolu Arokodare played 90 minutes and missed the penalty. I mean, it's been good news all the time for Arokodare, so you win some, you lose some, my boy. Keep your chin up. While Yerasor was not in the squad as Genk lost 2-0 to Club Brugge on Sunday. This is so funny because now Genk are just 1 point ahead of Club Brugge. If there's anything you've known about the Belgian league over the past few years, they tend to get multiple winners of the league here and there, but Club Brugge have been the strongest, most established side over the past 5-6 years, I'd say. And they did win the league last year, which is why they're in the Champions League. So look how Club Brugge are now hunting them down. It looked like they had a bad start to the season, but now, So speaking of Rafael Edika, he did play in this game for Club Brugge. 90 minutes when they beat Genk 2-0. He also played in Club Brugge 2-1 win over Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League on Tuesday, which was well deserved. And Club Brugge are in a very, very good position to qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League. As for Tolu Arokodare's Genk, though, he will be playing Anderlecht at home on Sunday. So let's see if he can bounce back and get back to scoring ways. While Rafael Edika, he will be playing Union Saint-Gilloise away on Sunday. As for Jordan Tonoriga, his Gent's team, he was on the bench in their 3-0 win over Baka Topola in the Conference League, but he was back in the squad and played 90 minutes in their 1-1 draw against Club Brugge on Sunday. Next up for them, they play Larne away on Thursday in the Conference League, and then they'll play Standard Liège away on Sunday. So look out for those games. In Scotland, Cyril Dessers played 10 minutes while Leon Balogun played 55 minutes in Rangers' 1-1 draw against Tottenham in the Europa League on Tuesday. And then on Sunday, we saw Dessers come on in the 101st minute and he got a yellow card. While Balogun played 67 minutes. So Balogun's now been starting in for Rangers, but they drew 3-3 in regulation time in this League Cup game, and then they lost 5-4 on penalties. I mean, Dessers has not played more than 45 minutes since the 10th of November, so that just tells you the way the coach currently perceives him. In Czech Republic, Igor Ubo played 90 minutes in the Europa League on Thursday. Unfortunately, Slavia Prague lost 2-1 to Anderlecht, and then he played 90 minutes as they lost 1-0 to Teplice. What the hell? You're supposed to be the best team in the league. What do you mean you're losing to Teplice? As for Victor Latunji, Sparta Prague are whipping boys, man. He did play 13 minutes, but they got absolutely thrashed 4-2 against Feyenoord on Wednesday. And then he played 27 minutes and scored the winner for Sparta Prague in a 2-1 win over Jablonec on Sunday. So good to see him bouncing back. Stanley Nwabali, in fact, talking about Google Trends and the SEO space. If you look at the top 5 most trending names in football in Nigeria for the year 2024, Nwabali was one of the top 5. So I'm sure that was based on like the peak of AFCON and all the way he just made Nigerians feel so calm and collected and comfortable with him in goal. So shout out to you, Stanley Nwabali. He did play 90 minutes in Chippa United's 1-0 loss to Cape Town FC on Saturday, and he only made 1 save, but he's got no game this weekend, so it's time for him to relax. As for the ones to watch for this week, there's football galore. Well, not as much, but we got the Carabao Cup for your viewing pleasure. So tomorrow, Aribo and Onuachu Southampton host Liverpool at St. Mary's. I would expect Onuachu to get some game time, but because they've sacked their manager, you don't know what the thoughts of the new manager or the interim manager is going to be in this game. But Liverpool will probably wipe the floor with them, let's be honest. As for Monaco, they play PSG tomorrow as well, so that should be a very tasty game. And then in league ties on Saturday, we'll see Aina and Tara Winnie's Nottingham Forest go away to play against Brentford. Nathan Tella's Leverkusen play at home against Freiburg. That's a big game as they try to stay alongside Bayern Munich in terms of the title race. And then on Sunday, we'll see Victor Osimhen play against Kayserispor away at 2 p.m. So if you don't know, the Turkish League is on ESPN on DSTV in Nigeria. So watch our star player at 2 p.m. Well, second star player, because Lookman is African Footballer of the Year. So Osayi-Samuel, you have to be number 2 for now, you know. I think that's fair. And then we've got the battle of the Nigerians in the Premier League as well. Fulham's Alex Iwobi and Bassey are home against Southampton. So Aribo and Onuachu playing against them. And we know that the Aribo, Iwobi and Bassey are quite good friends. So that should be a tasty game to watch. As for Iheanacho, now that he played 45 minutes for Sevilla in their last game, will he get some minutes at the Bernabeu on Sunday? Watch out and see. And then Ademola Lookman, newly crowned African Footballer of the Year. His first game would be at home against Empoli on Sunday. So let's see if he could really match the vibes and, you know, continue the great form, and I'm sure he will. And then let's see if Hamzat Ojediran gets any minutes as Lens host PSG in the French Cup on Sunday. Now, Star Boy of the Week. Bronze medal this week, I'm going to give it to Dele-Bashiru. I mean, first goal in a while, and always plays well whenever he gets minutes, you know. It's a shame that we kind of drafted this before the 6-0 loss yesterday, but, you know, we'll still give him the bronze medal. First goal in a while, and he did play well for Lazio. Silva, Gabriel Ochoa, I think, you know, he just made his debut for the national team, and he was left exposed, but scored his first goal for Auxerre, you know, at a very important point to help them to a 2-2 draw. So Gabriel Ochoa, well done, and keep on shining. And then gold medal, I mean, if in the space of 7 days you score a goal against Real Madrid, even though your team loses, you get the man of the match alongside all these superstars of the current European champions. You raise the profile of your name and your game. And then in 6 days after that, you get crowned African Footballer of the Year. Wow, 2.5 years after changing your allegiance to Nigeria. Ademola Lookman, you are the Star Boy of the Week, and you'll always be the Star Boy of the Week. In fact, you're the Star Boy of the Year, as far as I'm concerned, because you're the African Footballer of the Year. And we just want to thank you for all the joy you brought to Nigerians, and keep on shining. So, that's it for this episode of the podcast. You know, we'll be bringing another episode next week because there's a lot of football to watch this over the next 7 days. You know, continue to spread the word. I really appreciate every single listener. I continue to see our YouTube subscribers going up. So please remember that you can find us at Nigeria Football Weekly on all social media handles except on Twitter, where we're at NFWPOD. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, click the bell to get a notification whenever you want, and please spread the word. You know, I really love getting feedback and seeing people really engage with the podcast. And shout out to the listener who replied my friend's DM on Insta that and recognized me from what I do here. It's much appreciated, and we'll keep the content coming. So thanks again. Appreciate every single listener, and enjoy your Christmas, and we'll bring you another episode next week ahead of Christmas Day. Ciao, ciao, and take care. Bye. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeria, they ever carry last.